Welcome back. Well, Brad Smith was diagnosed with ALS when he was just 37. Speaking slowly became more and more difficult for him until he became completely nonverbal. But almost a year ago, he became the third person in the world to receive the Neuralink implant. What does that mean for him and his family? Take a look.
This is my old voice narrating this video, cloned by AI from recordings before I lost my voice. The implant is in my motor cortex, which is the part of my brain that controls body movement. The actual implant is the size of 5 US quarters in a stack. It replaced the hole in my skull. The threads are placed by a robot just a few millimeters into my brain, avoiding the blood vessels so there is almost no bleeding.
He made that video using telepathy, edited with his mind. He says he's not afraid of AI because he's using it to regain his freedom. The father of 3 says he's now back to beating his kids at Mario Kart and cracking jokes. We got to see for ourselves when he talked to us earlier today. I asked him what his life was like before getting the implant.
Before the Neuralink implant, I was living with advanced ALS, diagnosed at age 37. I'm now 45. The disease had destroyed the motor neurons connecting my brain to my muscles, leaving me quadriplegic and completely nonverbal. My mind was, and still is, completely sharp and normal. I could understand everything perfectly, but I had zero voluntary control over my body. I communicated and used a computer exclusively through eye gaze tracking technology. That system was slow, exhausting, and unreliable, especially in bright light. I was fully dependent on my family and caregivers for everything: eating, moving, breathing support, etc. Travel was extremely difficult, and I couldn't do simple things like play with my kids or type a quick message. I kept my brain active by watching YouTube, starting small companies, and writing, including the book Navigate the Strait, but my physical world had shrunk dramatically.
So how has your life improved since then?
The improvement has been life-changing. The Neuralink implant lets me control a computer cursor and type directly with my thoughts, much faster and more reliably than eye gaze ever was. Within weeks, the cursor steadied, and my typing speed improved dramatically. I can now edit entire videos and podcasts on a MacBook, play Mario Kart with my kids and beat them, go on road trips, watch fireworks outside, and generally live a far more independent and active life. I feel like I've regained a huge piece of my autonomy. My quality of life, hope, and ability to contribute again have skyrocketed.
So how has it changed the way that you interact with your family?
It's transformed our daily life. Before, I was mostly an observer, dependent, and often frustrated by how slowly I could respond. Now I can jump into conversations quickly, usually with silly movie quotes, play games with the kids in real time, help with projects, and just be more present.
You edited an entire video on your MacBook with your mind. We're showing it on the screen right now. How exactly do you move the cursor with your brain? And is it that you imagine you are moving your wrist and your hand?
I move the cursor by imagining movements with my tongue. The Neuralink is implanted in the hand area of my motor cortex. But because ALS had already taken away reliable hand/wrist signals, I trained the system using tongue imagery instead. It feels completely natural now. After the initial calibration period, the cursor became smooth and precise. I can control it faster and more intuitively than eye gaze ever allowed.
So how do you click left and right?
I perform clicks by imagining jaw clenching. The Neuralink system is trained to recognize the specific intentional thought as the click command. Everything is done with pure thought. No physical motion required.
Wow. Well, the voice that we hear now is your actual voice, which has been recreated with AI. How was that possible?
The voice you hear is an AI clone of my real pre-ALS voice, created with 11 labs. I had enough recordings from before the disease progressed too far, so the AI was trained on my actual speech patterns, tone, and inflections. Now I just type the words I want to say, and the AI speaks them out loud in my own voice. It lets me sound like me again, instead of a robotic synthesizer. It's been a huge emotional win for me and my family.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.